being recorded. All right. Well, welcome to our team call. It is Friday, June 11th. I almost said June 7th. That was Monday. And I'm really excited that you guys are here. Let's go ahead and quickly share some wins. And are we going to try to do the one out breath thing? Okay, Neil, do you want to do an out breath so we can see what that looks like?
I'll wait till the end.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So my win is I'm almost done with 80-day obsession. Really excited to be almost done. Yay. All right, who else wants to share a win? Cody, Tanya, Jess. Okay, Tanya, I'll try to unmute you.
Oh, I'll say I can. Oh,
okay, go for it.
Sure. So this is long-winded one, sorry. So y'all know I was like, I'm gonna start working out again, and I decided to do, first I was gonna do the dance one, Let's Get Up, and then like not quite feeling it, and I don't know what it was, but something was like, let's try the 100 morning meltdown. And when I got on there, I saw that there's like their prep was like 4 weeks. Like it's a 4-week prep for 100 morning meltdown. But anyways, it was like whatever. And I got 3 days done. And then we had some kind of appointment early in the morning and other appointments later that afternoon. And so the third day didn't get done. And then, the fourth day didn't get done. And then after that, I just, if I miss a day, it's just bad. And so I haven't done anything since. So I was feeling down about that. So that's not really the win part, but which day was it? It was that fourth day. One of the things that I had signed up to do was after my dad died, like there's the hospice that did his stuff. They do a bunch of different like groups and meditations and this and that and other. Well, they have once a month, they have a women's grief group. And that was from 6 to 7:30. So obviously I could have been like, well, I need to get my workout in, so I'm going to do that. But instead I went to the group and it was just me, the lady that runs it, and then 2 other girls. And I say girls, one of them was older, but we had all lost parents, like it could be for anything, like any kind of loss, but it was all just losing parents. And there was just us. So if you're familiar with me, and I only use my phone for Zoom. And so we fit nicely on one little page and and we exchange numbers at the end. And so we have like this little text thread going of like supporting each other through all these things. And it's like one of those things that's kind of meant to be. And so I'm really glad that I did that. So that's my win for this week.
I love that. That's awesome. That's a huge win. Mindset is so key. And then as far as the workouts go, I don't know. I'm like, what's a good strategy? Because this is
I thought about doing something like yoga.
Face, like a lot of our challengers will face too, where they'll get started and then they feel defeated. Like you're feeling that, and that's kind of been where you've been, except for the time when you were in the test group, and it was because you had to check in.
Yeah. I don't know. It creates some sort of accountability. Yeah, like a commitment outside of that, like for the test group, like you said, either that or just find something you're really excited to do.
Yeah.
I know that we found when we're trying a program where maybe it's not aligned with our ultimate goals, even if it's like something new, we want to try it. Sometimes it's hard to want to start. Something that you're not excited about the results that you feel like it's going to give you.
Yeah. The only reason I'm sticking to 80 days is because I want the butt. Like,
I thought about it after the stuff yesterday too, because that was another day I didn't do one. And I was like, maybe I should do something like yoga, because I feel like I have these expectations of myself to do all this stuff. And I'm at the point where I definitely need to modify like everything. I'm like, what if I just go slow, like really slow, and just do something easy like yoga?
Yeah, yoga. The bar blend postnatal, you've already kind of done it. So maybe that wouldn't be interesting to you.
Well, it's a little more intense so too. Like even though it's like for postnatal and like it's not like hard on those parts of your body, it's still
bar is intense. I love bar, but it was hard. Like, my arms were on fire and my legs were on fire every day. So I can see that. Well, yeah. And the other thing too, that I know always helps me is when I know that I have a goal. So I will typically say something like, if I complete 30 days of workouts, and it doesn't have to be in a row, but if I complete 30 days of workouts, I can then buy myself XYZ. And normally it's like something like a new sports bra, new shorts, new pants. Like it's something that like I'm really excited about. And so Jessica, that might not, like a new sports bra might not excite you, but something that would excite you that you could purchase that's like, you know, maybe around that like $30-$50 range at the most, so that it's kind of like, it's more than, I think as a mom, like I don't like to spend as much on myself anymore. And so, and I'm always looking for a good bargain. So I'm always like, okay, if it's $15, it's not like, it's not a huge deal to me. But if it's like $30, $40, $50, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a big deal. Like I want to earn that. So, you know, anything above 50, I'm like, yes, I have to earn that. Like I can't just go buy that for myself. So that's just like, you have to figure out though, and we don't all have that mindset. Like other people, $50 might not be anything, but like 150 might feel like a lot. So, if that would motivate you, or if like you get to go and experience some sort of event, whether that is like there is a location that you've been wanting to visit with the family, a little mini outing that you've been wanting to do. So that's really what we suggest. And then those that are watching the playback, Jessica said, yes, that's a good idea. And Tanya, or maybe that was Tanya. And then Tanya said you should do the hybrid. And then Jessica said, yes, that's a good idea. Yeah, you could definitely look at doing a hybrid calendar. Those are always a little bit more fun for just sticking to stuff. But all right, thank you, Jessica, for sharing. Tanya, do you want to share your win? Okay. Yeah, you'll have to unmute. I tried to do it and didn't let me.
Okay. So I told you how I read those books about the whole food plant-based diet. And I did it consistently for a whole month. And then we went on to our little cabin in the woods trip. And I totally got off the diet. And I had such terrible heartburn. I ended up getting so bloated. Like the last 2 days was awful. And it just showed me how much good nutrition really does your body well. And then like once you get off of it, you can really tell like, hey, yeah, this is bad stuff. Don't put it in your body, blah, blah, blah. And even prior to that, before we left, I had so much energy. I was doing like 3 workouts a day. I was going to the gym with my husband, and like the energy was incredible, and like no bloating, and I just felt amazing. So I just wanted to point that out, that, you know, good nutrition is like so important.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad that you shared that. I would highly encourage you to share that in the challenge groups too, because like, that's like, you're the perfect testimonial of like how that has truly affected you. And I think that that's so important to see and experience.
Yeah. And once you experience that too, you start to remember.
Yeah.
You know, you start to remember how you felt when you had that.
Yeah. So and like next time you vacation,
after a few times, you know, you'll be like, no, I don't want to do that because I know what I'll feel like.
Yeah.
In 20 minutes.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I don't eat like fried foods anymore, like fried chicken or a bunch of fried shrimp. Like I just can't eat it, you know?
We were talking
like,
about that.
That tastes really good. And I'll have like one, you know, a bite of shrimp or something, or, you know, every once in a while. But like, I know what it's going to do like 15 or 20 minutes later. And I'm just like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like we've got a trip with his family, and a lot of the places that they've always visited for years and years and years, the fried food is like the fried seafood is the highlight. And like, that's a really big highlight. And so we've already talked about how, okay, when we go, we'll like split between our family, the fried shrimp, instead of like each of us getting a fried shrimp dish. And I know the other thing is I'm like, and it's like an hour drive to get to this place. I'm like, we're going to have to find a pit stop if we actually eat too much of it. Like literally we're all going to need to go to the bathroom because our kids experience it too now. So like they even start to see it. They don't completely put the 2 and 2 together all the time. I don't think Braylon will put together pancakes, make her tummy hurt if she has more than 2. Like she's put that one together for sure. So she's just like, cause she's said, Mom, don't serve me more than 2. And I'm like, okay. Ooh.
Aw.
So.
Yeah, and I lost 12 pounds in like 1 month.
Yeah.
No
big deal. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Well, yeah, no, that's awesome. I'm really glad that you share. I would love for you to share that in the group, in the nutrition group and in the boot camp group, if you're comfortable sharing.
I thought about doing it and posting it to my page, but I'm so nervous.
That's the other thing. I'm like, share it in the group. And then as soon as I saw you share it in the group, I was gonna be like, now post that in your personal page. Because yes, I think that that's really important. And I think a lot of people will be like, you know what? I hadn't thought about it too much, but you're right. I do feel that way. And so I think that it would really encourage others that are going on vacation this month to really think about, like, do I want to eat all out, or do I want to eat, you know, a couple things here and there and then the rest of it pretty good?
Yeah. I got one more thing. Just one more. I had like 3 or 4 people like come to me and say, I really love your posts and like you are such an inspiration and what are you doing and blah blah blah.
Aw,
I was like, really?
that's awesome. And
Yeah.
you're sharing really consistently and really well. So I definitely like kudos to you and maybe if it's time for you to have your own group where you're supporting people, or if it's time for you to bring them into our group, we're here to help you make that transition. Cause I know like I was so scared to talk to people at first. So
Yeah.
I was really scared about it. I was like, I'm doing a body thing. And it's cool. You can do it too. like that was how I was. And now I'm like, oh yeah, I love this. And I'm so grateful that you shared that with me. That's so nice of you to share. What have you been doing for your own wellness journey? Or have you been doing anything? And then let them talk about it. Cause then they'll tell you like what they're doing. And that'll open up the conversation. That really, like, if you just ask them, like, what have you been doing for your own wellness journey? Or are you thinking about doing something for your own wellness journey? Either of those 2 questions will get them talking about themselves. And that's going to make them feel good too. That like, oh, so not only is she inspiring, but she cares.
Yeah.
So that would be what I would transition to. Have you talked to them? Like, did you reply back?
They actually approached me at our co-op.
Oh, okay. So like locally in person is making me even more nervous. That's what I'm like, ah! Well, that's if you know them online, I would send them a message and be like, that was such like, I couldn't even speak because I was so caught off guard that I inspired you. And I just wanted to say, thank you so much. What are you doing for your own wellness journey? Like, I would just be quite honest with them. Like I would, if you have like, do you have them on Facebook or Instagram?
I do.
Okay. I would definitely like thank them and just tell them.
Yeah, it's a lot less intimidating to reference the encounter through a message than it is to in person. Because even in person, sometimes we'll still like kind of downplay or change the subject a little bit, like trying to be, I don't know, trying to be humble or just like, I don't know,
Amity, my friend signed up yesterday in front of me and I was like, huh? I was like, no, you don't have to do it now. Like, okay.
It's fine. Just this little beach body thing. I don't know if you've heard of it. I mean, it's fine. It's just, I don't know, just a little thing. Just a little something.
Just a little something. I know it's so weird how we tend to do that in person. And I guess just because I've built so much of my business behind the scenes, because there's a lot of coaches in the beginning, they did build in person. So like them talking about it, it doesn't sound weird coming from like, I hope sometime that you guys get to meet Doug and Tammy. They are founding coaches. They're the ones that do, they don't have them this summer, but on Sunday nights, the first Sunday of the month, they'll do like a, what is Beachbody? And it's super old school, but it's just like, it's what it looked like in the beginning when people talked to each other in person. So, Cody, got to check your homemade yogurt real quick. Okay. Cody's going to check that. We'll let her share her win when she comes back. I'm going to read this. Okay. I was going to read this out loud really quick. So Cody also, actually, you know what? I'll have Cody share this when she comes back. Neil, you share your win.
Yeah. So anyway, I just decided to take a month off of drinking. It wasn't like crazy excessive. I just noticed, like I wasn't doing as good in my workouts, if I had a drink or two the night before. So I just wanted to get back to baseline, just sit out for a month. So in June, good, stay strong with that one. So
that is a big win. It's been a little tougher for me, if I'm being honest.
Well, you didn't commit to it.
I didn't commit to it, and I don't have to commit to it.
You don't have to.
Yeah, I don't have to. Well, when Cody gets back, like I said, we'll let her share her win. I'm going to share our screen, and y'all, Neil did all of the shout outs, and I honestly, for some reason, was like, yeah, calls at 10, calls at 9, my time. So I just didn't get to everything. So team growers, we don't have any new coaches in June. I shared that this is my biggest hiccup right now. Oh, Cody's back. I'm going to stop my screen share. Well, no, I'll go here. I'll do this really quick and then I'll let Cody share win. Weekly volume. So this is not personal orders, anything that anybody has ordered from you. So we've got a couple names on the board. Good job, you guys. So like this relates to Beachbody On Demand normally. Probably a bod subscription.
38's usually like an Energize.
38's usually like Energize.
Or yearly.
Or yearly bod. Yeah. Okay, cool. And then 90 is normally Shakeology. Somebody like reordered a Shakeology. Success Club. So right now I'm the only name on the board. Just hit Success Club 10 the other day. And
How did you do
those,
that?
how did I do that? Oh, good point. So I did that by really talking to a lot of people about the nutrition group and going back to basics with that, where I just really was like, hey, I'm doing a fun challenge in the month of June. It's going to involve 30 or 7 days of nutrition focus with me. I would love to have you check this out. Is it something you'd be interested in? And that was really like, I sent that message to current clients, and I sent that message to an email to any of my like customer leads. I sent that message to anybody on Instagram that had caught my stories or had connected on a post recently. So I invited a lot of people. I mean, I would say out of that list of I'm trying to remember how many people I invited, but I mean, it was a lot. Like I would say like I probably invited about 50, and I had a good turnover rate with that, but I had a lot of rapport with those people. Some of them were new. So some of them were people that had opted into like a free meal plan that I had shared a while ago, and I had their name on email. And so that was where 1 point or 2 of the points came from. And then other points were from new customer. So somebody that had told me no a long time ago. And I had kind of asked her how she was doing with her nutrition, and knew that she was focusing on it, but she had like a coach. And I was asking her, like a one-on-one person, I was asking her how that was going. She's like, you know what, I want to try out this 30-day challenge with you. I want to go all in with it. And then, yeah. And so that was really what it was, a lot of like one-on-one conversations, a lot of email marketing, not a lot of email marketing, but like just making sure I really used everything to the best of my ability, reached out to those leads, reached out to those people that had wanted something, free from me in the past, and reached out to my followers that were connecting on stuff.
So anyway, I just want to point that out.
No, I'm glad that you asked that.
But successful might not be your goal, but if it is, hitting it at the sooner in the month is always so much better and easier. Like if she hits it early on, then it's like, it's a lot less stress the rest of the month for her, for me, and for like, so anyway, but that was like the last week of last month and the first week of this month.
Yeah. So the last week of
starting
May,
a group,
yeah,
focused around a certain thing and just inviting people to that group. So
yeah,
I just wanted to put that.
Yeah. And so I think that that's really key is it's for me, that's about 2 very focused weeks of committing to inviting to the same thing, not committing to inviting to coaching, committing to inviting to Let's Get Up, committing to inviting to Try Shakeology. It was all focused on the nutrition group. The time that I could say earlier this year when I focused on complete coaching content for 2 weeks, we signed up 5 coaches. So, it's just one of those like, when I really focus for those 2 solid weeks, because it takes people seeing things a lot of times. So by focus, I mean, every post would normally be something related to nutrition or to my group, like every post. And it's not oversharing because people don't see all your posts. Every day there was at least 3 to 5 stories about nutrition and about the group. And so like, that's really like what it takes. And I think Stephanie said something too in our Voxer thread about, hey, it really does work if you just share consistently, like a side-by-side transformation and in your stories and connect with those people that are watching and commenting. She's like, because that's how she hit Success Club at the end of last month. And she shared that in our Voxer thread. So I know you'd have to scroll up to find it, or maybe I can find it and then like re-forward what it was. But yeah, so if Success Club or making some income is what you're wanting, then it takes like, some solid focus on, we'll get clear about what is it that I'm wanting to help people with. I was wanting to help people with nutrition and Shakeology. So that's what I focused on. And that's how we got there. Yeah, thank you for asking. Okay, let's see here. I'm gonna do this one. So take action challenge. So this is, so only Neil and myself, I guess, have been tracking. Is that what that shows?
Yeah.
Okay.
I filled out the
online activity tracker. So when you do the online activity tracker, if you fill it out to 50%, each day that you do, your name goes into a drawing from Beachbody. Neil and I will start doing recognition, of course, for this as well. And we'll probably start doing like a little mini team challenge at some point to kind of help us remember to track and to, just work the business a little bit each day. I know in a video that I filmed Wednesday, I went through what my action hour looked like, and it was by 6:20 a.m. So from 5:20 to 6:20 a.m. I worked my business, and I got 63% of my tracker filled out. And I literally recorded the whole thing and what I did. And so it's just like in an hour, like you don't have to do it that early. I had to do it that early because I had to go to work. But in an hour, I got all that done. I got 63% of my tracker filled out, and y'all, I felt amazing. I felt so good and so accomplished. And I don't do that. Like, I'll be honest, like I don't do that all the time. I'm not normally like that good at being focused, but I was really focused. So finding something that helps you get focused, whether that's like, you know what, I'm going to drink my Energize and do my work, and then I'll do my workout after, or I'm going to drink this tea or this really delicious coffee, or I'm going to, treat myself with a Shakeology smoothie bowl or Shakeology energy bites after this. Like something food related is what I always tend to go towards. Sorry, that's like my mind is food, but I always try to treat myself to something that like excites me and motivates me, if that makes sense. So I know that Cody, I feel bad. I'm like, oh no, Cody's gone. I'm sure she had some stuff, but I know that Cody also, and Tanya, you guys both put in here. So okay, so I said the easiest. So I asked this question in the team page. What's the easiest thing and what's the hardest? And I put easiest for me right now is drinking my Shakeology, doing my workout, and putting stories up on IG. Like it's just not too hard for me. Hardest is recruiting coaches for the business. And then Nicole says easiest is following 2B mindset rules. That's awesome, by the way. Like that is a huge accomplishment. The hardest is posting on social, getting my workout in. I've been thankful for lift 4 rest days, but taking 2 days off and then coming back in is tough for me. I completely agree with that. I'm just reading through these and then we'll go through it. We'll go through some of this. So Tanya, drinking Shakeology and doing your workout. Hardest is working the business. I overcomplicate everything. And Nicole said same for her. So I'm sure that she's talking about like, because you guys both had similar easy. Cody, the easiest are the workouts and the supplements. And the hardest is sharing consistently on social, not just Beachbody, to encourage more engagement and connections. And of course, being brave and talking to others about Beachbody and asking for the join. So it sounds like when I look at this, all of us are normally loving some part of the program. We're loving either the Shakeology or the workouts. I would say like right here, Nicole said that getting the workout in is easy, but having the rest days are hard. So we're liking all of that. So we really love that. And then all of us are really the same. We're having a harder time either like we're having a harder time working the business, figuring out like, so my working the business looks different. My struggle isn't like I enjoy and I love working the business. It's working the business and signing up coaches. I'm totally like capable of signing up customers, and I'm totally capable of signing up coaches. Just right now, I've been in a little bit of a wait, I haven't signed up a coach in like 2 months. What's happening? I have nobody to train. Like I need some new people to train. And so that's where I'm at. But then the rest is very similar. Like all of us are very similar. Posting on social media, working the business, and not overcomplicating things by making sure we're sharing consistently. So I'm going to stop the screen share. I will pull this to the side for Neil and myself to see. So Neil, what are your first thoughts like right away? Because I feel like you've got a little bit of a business mindset that would be beneficial.
Well, I can give advice, but I do want to disclaim that as far as those easy and hard, yeah, I'm kind of the same way. Workout supplements are super easy. That's what I basically filled out on my tracker all week. And then, posting is a hard part for me too. It's just it's not the first thing I want to do. Sitting down to do it, I feel like it's going to take me more time than it probably should or would. So anyway, but thoughts.
Okay, so all right, I'll go. Okay, so in one of the national wake up calls years and years ago, I remember a coach saying, "Posting is your paycheck," and it's one of those things. It's true to a point. Posting is your paycheck in terms of if you don't post, people aren't going to know what you do, especially right now when not everybody's going out and meeting in person and face to face and all that stuff. So posting is your paycheck is just something that's always in the back of my mind. One of those, and I don't want to say like it's a belief. It's not a limiting belief. It's just a belief. And so figuring out like, well, I would say the 4 of us are on here. The 4 of us that are on here and a couple others that are going to watch the playback want to make some, like, do we want to make some money out of this? Yes, no, don't care.
Yep.
Yes. Tanya says yes. Okay. Cody, I think Cody is a yes, because I know that she's been talking about how like she would like for this to be vacation money. And Jessica, I'll be honest, Jessica's kind of an in between. I think Jessica's like a yes, but like don't know if you care enough. Like, and I'm not like that's like a nudge. I hope that sounds like non-judgmental. It's just like we're all in very different places of what we really want. And I know Jessica didn't comment on that post yet, so that might not be your struggle. But like Nicole and Tanya and Cody, myself, we all want something extra from this in terms of income. And we want to make sure that we aren't overcomplicating it. And that's really where I feel like if you just open up that coach office, that daily activity tracker, and you just start to click things off, you're going to start to see that you truly are already doing some of the things that you're not giving yourself credit for. Like you're not giving yourself credit that, hey, I pushed play on my workout. I did my supplements. I did personal development. Like this right now can be considered personal development. It's professional development. Reading a good book would be an even bigger form of that, or listening to something good, or listening to the national wake up call. All of those things are considered personal development. You're probably, when it comes to sharing consistently, like I actually see all of you guys sharing, and it's not like as much as like maybe me, but it's more than probably your friends are doing. And that's why people will walk up to say Tanya and say like, you're inspiring. I see you, you're inspiring. And so you're probably not giving yourself enough credit for what you're doing. But since I can't see you tracking, I don't know exactly what you are and aren't doing. But if you do the tracker and you make sure that you share with coach, I can see, and we can really take those next steps of saying, okay, you're doing really awesome at these things. Let's make a simple task that will help you get the invites done or the stories posted. Like what can be so simple for you? Is it that every day you just share that you drank some water in the morning, and that every day you then share one thing about your dogs or your kids, and every day you share one photo from your workout or a video from your workout, and then like we just say like that's all we're going to do at the beginning, like we're just going to try three things in our stories, instead of thinking that everything I have to document and put in my stories and make everything like a big to do. But that way you have a little bit of just healthy basic living, more Beachbody specific, and then your family life, your things that you love. And then, so that's what I would say, is start to figure out something smaller that you can do, rather than thinking like I have to do all of the things, because it builds up on itself. Like everything will build up on itself. Because once you start to get really consistent, for example, on sharing on social media, it won't feel as hard anymore. And that's probably going to come second nature. And so you don't have to have these amazing posts with these elaborate words or anything crazy. What I would suggest is what you share in the challenge group for your daily check-in, just share that on your social media, whether it's in stories or a personal post. So I would really suggest doing that, because people don't need to see perfect Tanya. They don't need to see the most put together Cody. They don't need to think that Jessica's got her life figured out. All they need to see is the real you. They have to just see that you're like a real person. And if you start sharing consistently in the challenge group, and you literally just copy and paste that over to your page, that's all I did for like ever and ever. And I still kind of all I do. Like I share maybe a little bit differently on social media, because I don't typically will say like my 80-day obsession workout. I'll say, my workout. And I have a little bit more lifestyle stuff now, because that's just something that like my page has turned into a little bit since we moved here, especially. I'm more of like a 30-day lifestyler. Like it's just one of those, like, it just looks a little different than just like the fitness stuff. Does that help a little bit? Or does that complicate more? Helps a little bit. Tanya, thumbs up. Cody, do you want to elaborate on any of this? Like,
and share your win.
I don't know if I feel like I have a win. Like, not that I'm a Debbie Downer, but I don't know that I've had any like, whoa, this was really successful. But I missed like a big chunk of this because my computer decided to restart. And then I have a phone. I can do this from my phone. So it took me a minute to get caught up. But I think I struggle with like that, like just sharing consistently in general. because I know like the more I share in general, then I'm going to inspire more connection with other people. It doesn't 100% have to be about whatever I'm working out with or eating or whatever. And I used to share more, and I don't know. I think I overthink it, so that really helps to just like break it down. Like, let's just share something silly about the kids, or let's just do this and that.
Beautiful haircut that you just had.
Right, or like a great hair day, or you know, something like that. It's like, oh well, you know, people engage on that because it's so easy to get discouraged if I'm sharing about, you know, a vague or blind invite to our nutrition group because I'm a chicken and won't directly ask people. But then it's like nobody said anything. Wah, wah. Nobody wants to see what I have to say.
They're not going to. Like,
so, and then it's like the other thing. It's like, okay, well, just maybe inspire some connection in other ways, and then people will, you know, it will transition into more of that.
Yes. Yeah. And that's, so one thing that I noticed when I was, and this is true to today, is I can put up a picture of the kids or a picture, for example, of the beach and get like tons of likes and tons of engagement. I can put up a picture of a side-by-side photo and not get as much engagement. And that's like, yeah, it can go dead, but those side-by-side photos are really important. And I wish Stephanie was on here because I know she said this goes back to what I mentioned in the Voxer where she said like, put it up, because I remember her reaching out to me and being like, I really didn't want to put one up. But I'm so glad I did, because I had like these 3 people that private messaged me. And so that's why you have to do those. Like, you don't have to do them every day. You can do Transformation Tuesdays, like every Tuesday, share a transformation win, whether it's a side-by-side or a mental win, just to kind of keep that consistent. But you have to, yeah, it's when you start to really engage people with things that are outside of you, with other things that you enjoy. You know, if you love farmers markets, share about your farmer market haul. If you, love going places like this, certain places with your kids, share about that, because it's what gives you the connection to people. There is a lot of times in the National Wake Up Calls and in the power hours, if you hop on those power hours, those are really the other thing that I would say when it says hardest is like, we all talk about recruiting coaches and working the business. Hop on a power hour. Seriously, they're 3 times a day. It will make you stop overcomplicating, because you're going to be like, I just got so much done in an hour. Like, I can't even believe it. And even if you can't keep up with all of the tasks that they're doing, because some coaches will go faster than others, like, know that you've still accomplished it and like just call it like done for the day. But as far as posting and sharing consistently, it's people care more about like them being spoken to in a way that just is like a relatable person, rather than like, I'm doing this, cool, like join this. Like, they just want to see like what you're doing in real life. Like, they want to know that you're just like a real person. And so like, yes, we still put up the call to actions because they're very important. They let people know that we will talk to them about what it is that we have to offer, but just making the connections is more important than anything. And when you start to make those connections with people, back into the like direct messages. So maybe you share about this place that you love going with your kids, and you start to connect with those same moms that also love going there or also love doing something similar. You can be like, I have a group of awesome supportive moms that we connect together on our fitness nutrition and help encourage each other along. Like, I feel like you might be a really good fit for this group. Would you want to check it out? So it would make a transition at some point during a conversation to go into something like that. So, but I would say the easiest way to not overcomplicate a lot of it is pour into the power hours, and then build your belief by listening to the National Wake Up Calls. So the power hours and the National Wake Up Calls. I know we have like a minute. It's gonna totally cut us out.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys want a little challenge for the next week. Let's see about filling out the online business activity tracker.
Yeah, just fill it out. Just don't
set a reminder in your phone to have I filled it out for the day, and just have it check, and then go on and just fill out what you did.
Yeah.
It might prompt you to do some more or remind you. If it doesn't, that's fine too. Just, if you're working out, you're drinking Shakeology, personal development, if you do post, if you do connect, any of that stuff, let's just try and fill that out this week if you accept that challenge.
We'll do prizes at the end of the week.
Ooh, prizes.
Ooh. I wish it could be a trip to Disney. That would be cool. Neil's like, we couldn't do that prize.
Carl's also giving prizes if you go with
Carl
50%.
is.
So
Hey, and you could win a trip to Punta Cana or Mexico. Literally.
that's true.
This is true. So it's not Disney, but it's an amazing resort. So,
Thank
all
you,
right.
guys.
Thank you guys so much for your time today. I'm so happy to see y'all, and I'm excited to see your trackers this week and encourage each other in our groups. And I'm looking forward to your posts. All right. Bye, y'all. Where did they go?